What to say about Blend Bunny? I wish palettes were magnetic, because then I could, pick a few shades and bring them with me. The matte formula is my favorite, and it's a nice formula, a bit thick. And there were people that compare these to Viseart. Viseart are much superior in my opinion, because I can use watercolor techniques with Viseart, and these are more, don't want to say coarse, but they are long lasting, they are blurring, but they're also thicker. They stay in place, so if you want to use these as liners, you can do that, while with Viseart, sometimes you can tend to overblend unless you use a medium. So Viseart are more catered for a pro, for makeup artists that are used to mix and match, mix also the texture, mix the mixing mediums. While if you want to just pick the colors and use them, then these are very nice. These are arranged in gradation of colors. And especially the mattes are meant to be used in conjunction, so you use a lighter color to blend a darker one. That's the way the creator has designed these color stories and this format, but for me it doesn't work. I don't like blending these together, so I use these as single colors. This is my perfect neutral palette. I like the olivey tone of this row, and I like the fact that there's a lighter version in this column that is, as I said, from the Dollhouse, these three. It's a pain trying to depot and arrange shades, because the packaging is so cheap here. Once I removed the shades, I could see how cheap it was. It's porous, right? And that is the worst, because once you glue up something, you cannot remove it without damaging something like I did here, right? They are not magnetic. It may be aluminum. It's not smooth cardboard. So it's the process of removing the eyeshadow is very difficult. So I do not recommend that. And yeah, as you can see, I damaged, but this was meant for me, and I'm sad that I damaged it. But this is actually my perfect color story. These are perfection. Even this warm tone, I kept it because it's great. So this is in the perfect, as I said, colorful neutral palette. I would recommend, of course, in the original format. I also like the fact that it's not too big. Then I picked the Search palette, and I picked it again like the Dior, because it's going to be discontinued, and I think is because of the availability of the neon pigments. I never used this. I just picked it to have it, and I have to figure out if I want to, do the same thing that I did before. But it's so painful that I don't know. I will do it. As I said, the packaging is very cheap. The plastic is very cheap. It seems that they wanted to save money. Of course, it's reasonable on all the other things and concentrate the budget on the eyeshadows, and the eyeshadows are high quality. I haven't tried this, but from reviews, they are consistent. I picked this especially for the greens and blues, and also for this first column. And these three, I don't care. So I don't know if I will in the future remove these eyeshadows. I don't know. This Simply Sweet palette is the last one. As I said, I purchased from Monolith. What to say, it's a nice palette. It's light, it lacks mid-tones because these are quite light, so are all pastels. I would have paid more for the palette and having the possibility to rearrange the pens, because personally I'm in a group of people that do not like the arrangement. I wanted ordered way to be able to recognize different undertones in the same color. So different undertones of purples, for example. This is a pinker, this is a bluish one. Still, this I think it will be my definitive, my only pastel palette I will need in my collection. I didn't have a pastel palette. I think that having one in the Blend Bunny formula that is very blurring, it's fine. And if I want to change a bit the tone, I can use the Viseart on top of this. The combo Viseart plus this is great, and these are more unique colors than what Viseart usually provides. Viseart is more conservative in terms of colors, and I like to have these. It's more of a spring palette maybe, but I like for winter because these pastel tones, I'm happy with this. I also purchased Fantasy Cosmetica. This was a revelation. I removed these two without touching them, so they are new. And I will sell them because they were warmer. There was a copper and a red, but these ones are my type of shades. And to be honest, I also placed an order when they had the Black Friday sales. I also purchased a bunch of other singles. I don't like the other palettes. This is the only palette I liked. Also, not fond of their mattes. I mean, I have high quality mattes. I have my Suku mattes, my Surat mattes, and my Byzance mattes, and also the Blend Bunny. So I'm settled with my mattes. The reason why I would buy these Chinese brands, this is based in US but made in China, like Blend Bunny, and also Adept is made in China. The truth is, these special pigments, these are special also pigments. Some ones are multi-chromes, some ones have complex shifts. It's China that rules. It's China that produces these type of pigments. Therefore, if I go for a Chinese brand, I want something that is very special. And that's the reason why if I pick something that is made in China, I would like the shimmer, impactful shimmer. These are very nice and not so texturizing on the skin. So I like it. I will definitely rank maybe my indie eyeshadows in the future. Maybe I'll wait for more eyeshadows to come. Finally, last purchases are Natasha Denona I, the nude, as I was saying. This is a nice palette. I can confirm that this is not my favorite formula, but the tones here are quite unique. This is my perfect, as I said before, pink palette because the taupes are pink based. So I love the fact that it's a pink palette with degree desaturation. It's a recent purchase, but I have used it a lot. I purchased also Hermès that I put in Nabla. These are two depotted pen from the Hermès quad. I like the colors here, but the formula was not my favorite because it's the typical talc-free formula that tend to be dense and less easy to blend. Also less pigmented than other type of more powdery formulas like Byzance. This is a Byzance one, and my finding was that it's the same size of the Byzance Etendu type of size. And the other two eyeshadows from the squad are for sale on my Vinted, untouched. So if you want to try the formula at a cheaper price, you can check my Vinted. These are the Nabla ones, the true Nabla ones, and it's a quad that I made in the past. They have released this year these singles. This is a multi-chrome. I like it because it's very fine, but pigment are sourced from the same place, guys. The two that are must buy for me are these two. I have a video where I described all these. This is a Barbie pink, and this one is the new version of Water Dream, and I think it's called Mirror now. It's nice, but there are a lot of other eyeshadows nowadays that do this. I don't know. I will keep them for now and I will decide in the future. But yeah, it was something that I could avoid again. Chanel did great things this year, in my opinion. I don't agree with people that say that Chanel didn't do well. It depends on the color. For me, it was bad in last year's, too warm, while now, this year, it was great. This is Paris Venetian, so I picked 3 palettes from the Byzance collection. And I thought to declutter, actually, this one because I had dupes. But I can't. It's very nice. Maybe in the future, if I really need space. But these two are my favorites, and this in particular, I always reach for this shade. It's a great fine glitter shade that is so elegant. So these are great. What is this? This actually belongs to last year, but I used this year. It's great. It's a great palette in the baked Déchet formula. Amazing. A bit warm, but still fantastic. And this is another masterpiece. I have friends that said that they couldn't get the pigment, but I managed to do that. And this maybe is the, yeah, I can get a lot of pigment even here. I've used this a lot. You see, maybe it's just, you see how much pigment I get. So yeah, for me it's pigmented. I love this palette. It's the type of finish that I love. You see how refined this is. Baked gelée formula is great. Yeah, a classy palette. And the white pen gives the same scattered light effect that I got from this. Maybe this is finer, is another formula, softer, and this is more chunky, but fantastic. Last eyeshadows that I picked are these duos by Bobbi Brown. This, we are going into the end of the year. Recent purchases. Surprise, I like this more than this. It's soft, feminine, and the first to be sold out. I could grab one of the last ones. MAC eyeshadow, yeah, it's weak, but it's unique. The point is that it's not a pigmentation weak, but it's fine, it's very fine, but is sophisticated. It's not impactful, but is classy. Can you see it now? Yeah, I think you can see it. It's great, and it gives that wintry vibe on the eyes. So it's a great purchase. And then Chantecaille, but I haven't tried them yet. And the reason is that there was my lost package. I wanted the elephant was lost, and so I was pissed off. And when I'm pissed off, then I don't use this type of products. But these are the two that I picked. But the first one that I wanted was the elephant, and I waited years until I decided that I wanted, and then I lost the package. Anyway, there's that. But I haven't used them, but I expect them to be great. My experience with the previous ones was amazing. The only thing is that I decluttered the other ones because they were too expensive for what they were, and the colors were not unique enough. While these ones, I think they add something in my collection. So I finished the main purchases I did this year. Now let's do the ranking. So this is my top 5. At 5th place is a bottle, actually. This didn't make cut because I have it for less than 1 month. I didn't have enough time to evaluate. So the 5th place, it's a bottle between 3 products. The Guerlain Quads, this is my favorite formula, but I know already this formula is the Baked Gelée formula. Same for this, especially the pink one, that was a revelation. Was a surprise. I didn't expect to like it. Also, this could be included in the 5th position. So there are these 3 products that staples and surprises, both the Bobbi Brown, and I didn't want to purchase them, but I'm so glad I did. That are competing with this one. I could say that they're all favorites, but I would select this one because it's more unique and it's not only eyeshadows. So this would be at 5th place because if I don't use these Guerlain meteorites, I miss it. I think though that they can be replaced with the Hourglass finishing powders. So either Hourglass or this. But this has a decadent feeling also in the experience of, the canister. Yeah, it has a more luxurious experience associated with it. At the 4th position, I would say an indie brand, the Fantasy Cosmetica. It surprised me for how good it is and how flattering it was, and it is more impactful compared to what I usually do. And I remember I did the office look with this, shiny and lasted all day. Promising brand. I think it deserves its success. At the 3rd position is the discontinued Dior, and specifically this nude dress palette. I love how romantic is this palette, but at the same time unique. I like this camel color, dark camel. Only this one I don't care for it, this whitish one, but these two and also this one, they are all great. This is tattoo warm, but usually I correct it with a bit of MAC Omega that gives a more grayish look. This is a romantic palette and that luxurious, very rich formula, creamy, buttery soft. Yeah, it's a pleasure. I'm so glad I picked it up. First and second ones are these two, and second one is the highlighter. Tom Ford highlighter was a surprise again. I didn't expect to love it, and I'm glad I decided to go for it. It's great. And finally, first place is the Baroque palette. This palette is a masterpiece. I use only these two, to be honest. But these, I will try to use this as blush because this will give me a sophisticated, grown-up, like adult woman look that I usually get with deeper blush shades. So yeah, this is the winner, and because of the innovation in the formula, color combo, versatility because it can be sheared out, and it's a great palette, and it's a surprise. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. So that's it, long video. Happy Christmas to everybody, and see you in my next one. Bye.